The thing with Faith is I can't read her, and I don't like that.
Big, please. You need to take a chill pill. Because right now, you're acting like you're on crack, babe.
Listen, but don't put your hand in my face. It's not your face, that's how I talk. Madam, if I was you one hot slap, if you touch me by mistake the wrong way, you will receive something. Do you understand? So stop putting your hand in my face.
Okay, at this point, I really do hope that Chioma is watching this season of the Real Housewives of Lagos with people that are brutally honest with her. Not people like her PA that will serenade her and, give her accolades for, standing out fashionably, sticking up to her style, looking fab and all whatnot. Nah. Well, not people like her family, probably, that will encourage her and tell her, oh, be you, oh, you're sweet, you're this. Talking about people that are gonna be brutally honest with her. And I really do hope that she's got people like that in her life. Because guys, watching Laura and Toyin this season, and also watching Chioma, you can see the far stretch. Like, you can see the difference. It's like Laura and Toyin just literally turned a new leaf this season, whilst Chioma literally took on the roles that they were sort of playing last season. Now, I don't know if this is deliberate. I don't know if this was sort of like a strategy by production, to keep us on our toes, right? To keep us entertained, to give us more things to talk about, to drive the conversation, and of course the traffic, which is quite typical of reality TV. I don't know. And if it is, I must give them their flowers. They actually did great with it. They actually are giving us a show. They are giving us a lot to talk about. But Chioma really should watch this show, this season, with people that are going to be brutally honest with her. And I know why I'm saying this, which brings me to a question that I have for those of you that are lawyers in the house, all right? And I'm asking this question specifically because of how Chioma spoke about Dr. Rommel and Faith's situation during one of her confessionals, guys. It was quite confusing for me, yes. She had referenced her degree in law, right, her background as a lawyer, to the fact that, if she sat both parties together to listen to their own side of the story, then she would be able to judge correctly what exactly is the situation between both of them. But still, in that same scene, she had been very, very quick to vindicate Dr. Rommel whilst flooring Faith as the villain.
So Ramon, as far as I'm concerned, based on what I see and what meets the eye, I don't know what he does behind closed doors. I don't know what his private life is saying, but the impression that he gives, he seems kind, he seems nice, genuine.
So guys, a lot happened on this particular episode, which I cannot wait to share with all of you. So please make sure you watch to the end of this video. Do not skip out on any part. And of course, let me put out this disclaimer that, hey, whatever I analyze about this particular episode, it is what is shown to us, all right? I don't know about these women in real life. I don't know about their private affairs. So whatever I analyze, it is what production put out there for us that I am analyzing by. So please don't get in your feelings, all right? It is a show. Let's have fun with it. And of course, the show and its event is meant to drive conversations. And it is that conversation that we are having here, all right? So that said, I believe that you also have your own perspective to how you see things. You also have your own opinion. So I look forward to hearing from all of you in the comment section below. So please go ahead and share. And quick reminder, guys, tomorrow being Saturday by 3 p.m. WAT, we're going to be converging here for our Saturday YouTube live stream, and I look forward to seeing all of you. So please make it a date with us. Do not miss out. We're going to be analyzing the episode 6 and the 7 of the Real Housewives of Lagos. A lot happened in the previous episode, and because we had our conversation with Toyin from Big Brother Naija All Stars, we could not analyze it last week. So tomorrow we're going to be doing all of that. So please make sure you come through. Do not miss out out. I look forward to seeing all of you. And I want to apologize for the length of my analysis of the episode 6 of the show. I actually told you guys I was going to try to keep it short to 25 minutes, and it ended up getting to 45 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. So let's do another challenge. I'm challenging myself to finish this episode in 30 minutes. Let's see if I'll be able to do that. If I don't do it, please don't crucify me. And officially, you are all welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and I am the girl with the T. If you're new here, thank you so much for subscribing to join this family. If you're yet to become a part of this community, it's quite easy. Please do not hesitate to do exactly what you see on your screen. Kindly go ahead to subscribe, turn on your post notification bell to always receive alerts of my videos whenever I upload a new one. Now, all of that said, let's quickly get into the details of this conversation. Okay, so I totally loved how this particular episode started. Yes, I loved the fact that the ladies were shown in their family element other than their dramatic bass element, you know. I mean, guys, I love the drama, of course. I mean, no drama, no entertainment, but I just did not want to break my head over any more drama for this particular episode. Yeah, I just wanted peace to reign, and that was the vibe that we got right from the very first scene where we watched Faith and her adorable son, you know, check into one of Lagos's biggest hotels, you know, where she had also organized a play date for her son and Laura and Toyin's kids. Yes, so it was so beautiful to see them women, you know, entertaining and treating their kids to some fun activities like painting and swimming. And guys, I just loved how they were being mothers, you know, for once, and not the movers and shakers of Lagos and the drama queens that they are. So it was quite nice to see. I also loved the rapport between Faith and her son. That was really nice to watch. These two people were having conversations. The son wasn't really saying a lot, you know, because he was busy eating his food. But the way he was responding, he looked like a husband that is used to the wife, you know, talking and talking and talking. And he's just there eating and like, That was such a cute scene to watch. And oh my God, Laura's daughter. Woof! You know, I always love it when girls look like their mothers, right? It's always giving this sibling vibe, and that was what Laura and the daughter was giving. The daughter looks so cute, and it was just like a carbon copy, like a complete replica of Laura. You know, made me think about when Laura was a child. I don't know Laura when she was a child, though, guys. I didn't know her when she was a child, but I just loved the look alikeness that they both shared. And oh my God, there was also Toyin with her regalia. Guys, I particularly loved that beach hat that she carried on her head. Guys, the moment she was walking, you know, to the pool, guys, she looked like she was carrying a beach hut on her head. I just could not help but tweet about it. And she actually replied, yay! She replied, and she was saying that her neck was really aching her on that day that she was wearing the hat. But guys, I must applaud Toyin for her creativity. The fact that she can literally create anything out of anything, guys. Some people are creative and some people are blessed. Honestly, it's not easy to be able to stretch your imagination. You know, when they say think out of the box, Toyin is the true definition of people that actually do think out of the box when it comes to fashion, you know. And then the way she makes herself her own walking billboard, you know, everything that she creates, she wears it, and you have no choice but to notice. Yes, and so at every given point in time, she's selling herself, and guys, I love it. I absolutely love it. And then there was also Tania, you know, who we also saw in her own family element and not her spicy element, right? She was engaged in a family photo shoot with her family, her husband, her daughter, and their dog. I love her daughter's little Miss Bossiness. you know, trying to get everybody to look this way, look that way. It was really cute. And there was also her expressing her fears and agitation at organizing some sort of event for the ladies. For her, her biggest fear is organizing that event and then people come and destroy it like they did with Iyabo's own event. And guys, I could totally understand. I could totally understand, because one of the things she said was she doesn't really know these women. You know, she just met these women. She's just thinking about what to do, you know, to make everybody have fun and just reduce the drama and the tension, because she also noticed the tension at Laura's own event, the tension especially between Faith and Dr. Rommel, and then Mariam against Faith. So for her, all of those things were just thoughts that she carried in her head, and she later on had conversations about it with Chioma, which we're gonna get to, because Chioma actually did cap a lot. And we also saw Mariam in her business element, guys, and I must confess, it was quite nice to see her in an entirely different setting, you know, to see her in a more productive setting, having a more productive conversation. Although I kind of felt like the person she was having conversations with, that Suji Motors, kind of, I don't know, should I say overhyped her, you know, when he was talking about, oh, I know that you are the best PRO practitioner in the blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, here we go again. I mean, I'm more of, you know, people giving subtle recommendations, people giving subtle accolades, you know, to businesses, other than all those in your face type of ads that they do. So for me, that conversation that they had, it felt like an advertisement other than a conversation. And I hope that they actually do better next time. Yes, because hey, we know you want to advertise your thing, but I beg, do it small, don't overdo it, because there are those of us that will definitely sniff it out that you're overdoing it. But anyways, as I said, it was kind of nice to see Mariam in a more productive setting, and not the Mariam that would constantly look for what to bicker about, or the Mariam that enjoys being ratchet or portraying herself in a ratchet manner. And then there was also Chioma at her Brass and Coppers site. Apparently there had been a fire incident, which is quite sad, because I've actually been there a couple of times before. That was years ago, and it was quite nice. So what happened, and it turns out that they are sort of renovating, trying to set up the place again. And it was quite disappointing for her that the people that she had actually hired to do the work were kind of delaying. Anyways, Laura came through, and listening to the way she encouraged Chioma, you know, with regards to that situation of her business not yet up and running, guys, it was quite nice. And it kind of reminded me of the first meeting that these people had with the other women in the first season, when Chioma had actually referred to Laura as just a client and not a friend. I mean, guys, you know, thinking back at that particular scene, it was just very funny. It was just very funny, and I kind of started hoping that this new found friendship that they are trying to build, that it actually works out, that it really does work out. Yes, because you can tell that Laura is really putting in a lot of work and effort, and I can't say the same for Chioma, but time will tell. Anyways, there was also conversations about Laura's event. Chioma was talking about, or should I say complaining about, the tension and the awkwardness in the room, especially between Faith and Dr. Rommel, and then there was also between Mariam and Faith as well. And in Chioma's confessional, Chioma was already saying that she cannot read Faith, and so therefore she does not like Faith.
The thing with Faith is I can't read her, and I don't like that.
And I was wondering, like, okay, Chioma, it would really help if you actually give reasons why you don't like this person, or if you don't have reasons at all, then it's just a case of you see this person, you feel intimidated by this person, you feel like what she's giving, you are the one in the group that's supposed to be giving that bougie vibe, but she's actually giving something that is more elevated than what you are giving, and automatically you see her as a competition and you just don't like her. Because guys, frankly speaking, I kind of find it quite weird when people just see people and they say they don't just like them. Why don't you like her? Why? What's the reason? And hey, don't get me wrong, it's not like it's a must that everybody must like everybody. Of course, there'll be those that don't like you and there'll be those that actually do like you. But guys, we're talking about a show here where we've seen these ladies in their element, and if we're being honest with ourselves, we kind of know why Chioma does not really like Faith, except there are other reasons that she's not sharing yet. And I'm actually hoping that in the episodes to come that we get to find out why Chioma really does not like Faith. But from what we've seen so far, guys, frankly speaking, I just feel like there's no valid reason yet until proven otherwise. Yes, and there was Laura, that was kind of trying to encourage Chioma to vibe with Faith, because Laura kept on telling Chioma that, listen, I have a strong feeling that both of you will vibe very well, that she also believes that Faith will vibe well and even reconcile with Mariam because they have a lot of things in common. Now, it was at that point I kind of did not like the angle Laura was coming from.
I feel like they have so many things in common. They have the same, they love Caucasian man, they're both slaves.
She was explaining that, Faith and Mariam does have a lot of things in common. For instance, they're slim and they have a thing for Asian men. And I'm like, okay, you could have used any other thing to, reference as per what these people have in common, but using the kind of men that they are interested in, it kind of came with an undertone of the old Laura. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I did catch it and I did not like it. And I'm like, Laura, we are loving you already the way you are this season. So don't even bring that old Laura that tends to get jealous at the snap of every finger. Don't even do it at all. But in another light, I think I kind of understand where she was coming from, but I just felt like that example she used, it was off. It was kind of off. It was very, very awkward, in my own opinion. Next scene was a conversation between Chioma and Tania. Now, it was on the same scene that she had made reference to being a lawyer and having the ability to decipher what the actual issue is between Faith and Dr. Romeo.
Honestly, I want to hear both sides of the story. I think I'm going to actually sit them down and be like, okay, you say your part, and let's not forget I'm a lawyer.
Now, Tania started off by expressing her fears, with regards to the event that she was planning for the women. Now, as I said before, one of our biggest fears is the drama that could possibly happen, just as it had actually happened at Iyabo's event between Faith and Mariam, and then there was also Dr. Romeo. So she was just quite, worried about the eventualities, what, things that could possibly happen. And then she had also made reference to how the same drama are sort of, filtered into Laura's event, the tension, the awkwardness, and in a way she was sort of throwing shades at Faith. And Chioma had been very hasty to jump in onto Dr. Romeo's defense.
Dr. Romeo, as far as I'm concerned, based on what I see and what meets the eye, I don't know what he does behind closed doors. I don't know what his private life is saying, but the impression that he gives, he seems kind, he seems nice, genuine.
Now, according to her, at Laura's event, she had been able to pull aside Dr. Romeo for a bit just to follow up on their previous conversation. If you all recall the conversation that she and Tania had had with Dr. Romeo, and the encouragement they had given to him to go ahead to have a conversation with Faith. So she was trying to get like some sort of update, about that conversation. And guys, quite typical of Dr. Romeo. And just as he had portrayed himself, in previous episodes, I wasn't quite surprised about the feedback that Chioma had given to Tania. So just as expected, Dr. Romeo had sort of twisted the whole story and had told Chioma that, oh, he was trying to talk to Faith, and Faith had lashed out at him, you know, and had been shouting at him like, oh, you're not my friend, you're not my friend. And guys, from the way Chioma was narrating all what Dr. Romeo had told her to Tania, you could tell that she believed it. She believed it. And that she had cited an instance that, oh, Faith had walked away just like she wanted to walk away at the basketball court. Now, if you all recall, there was a basketball court scene, I think in episode 5 or 4. That was when the ladies were still at Ekpe, Iyabo's event. And Faith and Chioma had actually had a conversation. Now, we did not see any part where Faith had tried to walk away from a conversation with Chioma. We did not see a scene, except production actually edited out that part. But Chioma had mentioned something like that. And for Faith to have wanted to walk out, then it means that the conversation was not really going smoothly as they had portrayed it to be on that particular episode. But anyways, as I said, Chioma was, you know, heavily taking Dr. Romeo's side, and it was during a confessional that she had actually said that, oh, she would love to listen to both sides, because by doing that she'll be able to sort of decipher what exactly the problem is. Oh, because she's a lawyer. And I'm like, nah, Chioma, as a lawyer, you definitely need more lessons on human behavior and human psychology. I say so because listening to Chioma analyze that whole situation to Tania, guys, 2 things came to my mind. Number one, I felt like it could be that as a lawyer, Chioma lacks a strong intuition. Yeah, it's either her intuition is quite weak, or she's just, as we've all concluded, you know, bootlicking Iyabo, just unnecessarily taking Iyabo's side. Yes, because guys, everything has been very obvious from the get-go. It's been very obvious that Iyabo and Mariam had sort of attacked Faith unprovoked. Had sort of been meddling in Faith's affairs with Laura. Had just been unnecessarily poking and trying to intimidate, bully Faith. And Chioma could see all of that. And so the fact that she's still acting, you know, sort of feigning ignorance, like acting like, oh, those ones have a right to do what they did, and Faith is the one that does not have any. Guys, it was just so, I don't know, it was just so disappointing. It was just so disappointing. So the moment she had actually referenced herself, you know, oh, I'm a lawyer, remember, I'm a lawyer. I'm like, nah, I don't know what you studied in law school, but you definitely need to go have more classes on human behavior and human psychology, because you sure need a lot more lessons on that. If you have plans of, you know, being a full-time lawyer, you need more classes. Because this, your style of analyzing situations on the show, it's quite flawed. In that conversation, while Chioma was saying everything she was saying, you could tell that Tania was sort of trying to play safe. But her body language, the reactions she was giving to everything Chioma was saying about Faith, guys, you could tell that she had already concluded in her mind that, oh, Faith is the villain. You know, she was already taking Dr. Romeo's side because Chioma was taking Dr. Romeo's side. And in a way, it kind of felt like she did not want to offend Chioma. So therefore, you know, she has to take Chioma's word for it. You know, that, oh, Dr. Romeo is a kind person, he seems genuine, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Chioma, you've not even heard from both parties, or you've actually heard from both parties, but now there's a new story, there's a new narrative. You've not actually got the full gist, and you've already concluded that Dr. Romeo is the kind person. Oh, Faith is XYZ. Guys, I was just really disappointed once again in Chioma. Now, I totally loved this next scene. It was all about the official reconciliation conversation between Toyin and Laura. Now, prior to this conversation, we've seen both of them, you know, meet in social gatherings with the other ladies, and they've been keeping it civil, right? But we had not really seen them sat down, did I say sat down or sit down? Sit down, anyone, guys. we have not really seen them sit down, to have a heart-to-heart conversation about the issues they had and even to iron out their differences. And so on this particular scene, they did it. And guys, it was quite refreshing. I don't know. I think the word to describe these two people this season is refreshing. Yeah, so it was quite refreshing, listening to their new mindset. Yes, these two people came with an entirely different way of thinking, of perception, of viewing things. And guys, I just really loved it. Yes, I really loved it because you could tell that there's a lot of growth. You could tell that they've sort of been elevated. Yes, their mindset, their way of thinking is sort of elevated. Now, a lot of people say that, all these things are scripted, blah, blah, blah. And I am also aware that when it comes to reality TV, a lot of things are amplified, a lot of things are exaggerated. Even the way it's edited, production always have a storyline, they always have a direction, right? But in that conversation, you could tell that these two women are now very self-aware. Yeah, you could tell that they've sort of grown beyond the bickering. They've sort of grown beyond the unnecessary drama. They've grown beyond that thirst for attention that Mariam is currently, exuding. You could tell that they have kind of grown beyond all of that unnecessary, ratchetness. They've grown beyond all of that. So watching both of them having that conversation, it was quite refreshing. Yes, I used the word again. It was quite refreshing. And I just loved what I was seeing. I was seeing the picture of two grown women that are not just wives, that are not just mothers, but women that have come to understand their worth and their value, and now understand that, listen, no need for the gossips. Yes, it's always very important to get to know people other than getting into a beef with them because of what people said about them. You could tell that they've come to learn to form their own opinion, from knowing people by themselves, for themselves. But anyway, enough with all that plenty motivational talk, guys. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of their conversation. Now, it was quite interesting listening to Laura admit that most of the issues that she had with Toyin actually stemmed from some of the backbiting, from the ladies, and she sort of regretted, taking people's opinion about Toyin and even allowing people's opinion, to steer the direction of her friendship with Toyin. She promised Toyin that she was never going to speak bad about Toyin, that she never did, and she wasn't going to start now. And she also, disclosed that she was fully aware of the strategy that the ladies were using, this year. They usually call this season this year. That she has noticed that from time to time, they'll be saying things to poke her, to get a reaction from her, especially from the likes of Mariam, who would say one or two things, to insinuate that she was sort of desperate for friendship, or she was sort of being a fool, being in a friendship situation with someone like Toyin and Faith, who do not really rate her, So she actually spelled it all out. And guys, it was quite interesting to see that everything that she was saying was quite correct, but she would not allow herself to give them that reaction that they were looking for. She would not allow herself to get into that headspace anymore, because the last time she did, it resulted in the split of her and her longtime friend, Toyin. So this time around, she wasn't going to allow them that pleasure at all. She wasn't going to give them that luxury, to tamper with their friendships this time around. Now, for Laura, she's not oblivious to what Mariam was playing at. She was quite aware that Mariam was trying to instigate shit between herself and Faith, and she wasn't going to allow it. And she also suspected that Mariam sort of came with a script this season. She felt like Mariam had this crazy craving, for attention, that she doesn't feel like Mariam really had any negativity towards anybody. She doesn't really think that Mariam has any ulterior motive towards anybody, to soil anybody's name, but just that craving, to get attention, to be talked about. And guys, when Laura was saying that, when she was explaining it, it was quite hilarious to me because it sort of reminded me of the Laura of last season. Because in a way, the way Mariam is behaving this season was sort of the way Laura behaved last season. Yes, so it was sort of interesting to see because the fact that Laura could actually easily identify that, it could be that, okay, because she recognized herself in some of the things that Mariam was doing. And Toyin could not help but agree.
Mariam is my old friend. I love Mariam. I love everything she stands for. But big, please, you need to take a chill pill. Because right now, you're acting like you're on crack, babe. Please.
Toyin saw that as well. For her, even though she loves Mariam, they are very good friends. She loves what Mariam stands for. She actually does not really understand what is working up in Mariam's head this season, because she watches Mariam in her element sometimes and she's baffled. She's shocked, like, okay, why are you behaving the way you're behaving? Because she also recognizes that sometimes some of the drama that Mariam exudes does not really make sense at all. It was also in that conversation that Toyin admitted that Faith was actually being real. Yes. Now, according to her, if you were meeting Faith for the first time, you would think that she was also playing a script or acting out a script, because she's always so put together, she's always, poshy and classy and all whatnot. But when you get to know her better, then you realize that, oh, this person is just being herself, So for her, she's not going to keep malice with Faith because Faith has been good to her. Faith has never disrespected her. They've been good, they've been cool, Faith has just been cool, and she has no reason whatsoever, to have issues with Faith. So none of the women that have issues with Faith would tell her anything that would make her think otherwise about Faith. Now, she and Laura agreed that moving forward, they are going to relate with the women based on their own discoveries about the women. They would not allow any other person's opinion about these people, tamper with their judgment about these people. And guys, whilst they were just speaking, I was just applauding both of them for their solid EQ this season, because I must admit, last season, it felt like both Toyin and Laura, they were just very, very erratic people. Yes, they did whatever they liked, however they wanted it. They were just doing things without taking note of the sensitivity of the people that their actions affected. But now you can tell that they came back, with a much more solid EQ. They are now more conscious of how they carried themselves and how their actions could possibly, affect any other person around them. In other words, they literally have stopped buying people's market. Yes. So guys, I was quite impressed with that conversation that they had, and I loved the fact that both of them have reunited. Now, the next and final scene was Tania's ladies' night event, and quite frankly, guys, I was quite happy that Faith had actually arrived earlier than the other ladies, which sort of presented an opportunity for herself and Tania to have a conversation about all that had been happening, in the group. And you could tell from Tania's shocked expressions that she had actually judged Faith wrongly. She even said it during her confessional, that the same mouth that she had used to judge Faith, that is the same mouth that she's using to say it, that she had actually been wrong in all of her judgments about Faith. So Faith had actually opened up about a lot of things, about the real reason she had cut off from Dr. Romeo. According to her,
you have those friends that when you cut them off, they will attach to somebody else just to keep being around. Keeping around.
Dude, I knew you were a snake. Imagine me coming into the group and then I bring someone with me, come and use me to shine. Oh.
she had perceived his desperation and the fact that he was not straightforward, he was not genuine, and she had cut him off. So it was the fact that she had cut him off that he was sort of trying, you know, to get back at her by sort of forming some sort of alliance with other ladies in the group. Now, from what she said, she had actually promised Dr. Rommel to introduce him to the women. And that was what she was pushing for, you know, that the women should get to know him, he should get to know the women. That's the reason she did not want him to start having any negative opinion about the women before meeting the women first. And guys, it made me wonder, like, wow, what a man. Somebody is trying to help you sell your business. They promise to introduce you to these women so that you will sell your business, you promote your brand. You have not met the women yet. You're already judging them, bad-mouthing them, saying a lot of negative things about them. And now you are now sort of close to the women, and you're not making it look like, oh, the same Faith that was trying to help your career is the one that's a bad person. I mean, guys, the way Faith explained everything just made absolute sense. And I know that I've been saying that I want to hear from both sides as well, but looking at this sort of personality this Dr. Rommel brought to the show, guys, frankly speaking, I don't expect the truth from him. I do not think he's going to tell the actual truth. Because look at what he said to Chioma, that, oh, he tried to speak to Faith and she lashed out at him. She rejected him as a friend, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Dr. Rommel, did you tell Chioma that you started your conversation with Faith via gaslighting? You were playing reverse psychology on her. You were trying to gaslight her into thinking that she was the problem, whereas you were the problem. You claim you had issues with this person, and instead of you to trash out the issue with her directly, you had first of all gone around bad-mouthing her to the other women who you don't even know in the first place. And then when you saw that your reverse psychology did not work, you have tried another approach by going around to lie that, oh, you tried having an innocent conversation with her, and then she was shouting at you, and then she was really guys, I still maintain what I said 2 episodes ago on my review, that friends like Dr. Rommel, just bundle them like a used old rejected wig, put them in the trash and throw them away. Because people like that, you never know what they have up their sleeves against you. It was just so pathetic, yes. And Tania saw where she had gone wrong, and you know, she felt really bad, and then she was telling Faith that she needs to redeem herself, she needs to clear the air, she needs to clear her name. And I'm like, clear her name to who? Those women, are they God? Why does she have to clear her name to them? It's not like they do not know that Faith is innocent in all of this. It's not like they do not know. They just chose to cook beef. Yeah, so why does Faith have to clear her name? Pray tell. Why? Anyways, after that conversation, the other ladies arrived and they were set to have fun. And that was when Mariam decided to stir the pot, you know, to cause more drama as usual. Now, I don't know what she was bickering about, but she seemed to have a problem with Chioma being all super sweet and nice to Laura. And then she started nitpicking. So for her, oh, when did they have a conversation? Why is it that all of a sudden they are acting all chummy, kicking and cacaing? And Chioma is like, well, why is that an issue? But Mariam did not allow it slide. Now, from what she was explaining during her confessional, for her, Chioma and Laura had issues at her house. You remember that scene last season where she had invited them to lunch and then it ended up becoming dinner, you know, at her house. So according to her, they had issues at her house. So she needs to know, she has every right to know when they resolve their issues, because she did not see anywhere where they had the conversation. So how come they are smiling and kicking and cacaing all of a sudden in public? And I'm like, it's the audacity for me, Mariam. Like, why does Mariam feel like she's a stakeholder in everybody's relationship in that group? Why? Oh, because it happened in your house, so automatically you have a right. Like, guys, frankly speaking, it was just really annoying. I'm looking for the kindest word right now. It was just really annoying because I was just looking at Mariam like, nah. I wouldn't have such a person around me, because the moment you start putting your nose into my business, I flush down the toilet, because what's all of that? And guys, I'm gonna be frank with you, it was kind of nice to see Chioma on the hot seat, you know, with Mariam. Because when it was happening to Faith, Chioma was acting like, oh yes, let the fight begin. Oh, let them fight. It's not all these plenty courses that they are giving to each other. The fact that it was then Chioma's turn to be at the receiving end of Mariam's ridiculousness, guys, I totally loved it, because you could see Chioma's vein, you could see Mariam's vein, you could see the way Chioma was fighting tooth and nail, you know, to maintain composure, to keep classiness in order, you know, to be the goody two-shoes Chioma. So she was seriously trying to defend herself, and Mariam was spitting fire as usual. Whether it was the truth or whether it was a lie, you guys, we don't know, but she literally put Chioma on the spot. And guys, even Chioma could not really give a proper explanation. It now resorted to spilling people's secrets. Yes, and that was where Chioma now revealed that, oh, last season when they were in Dubai, that it was actually Mariam's idea for them all to ignore Laura. And guys, at that point in time I became very confused, because I'm like, but Chioma, if my memory serves me right, weren't you claiming that it was actually Caroline that wanted everybody to ignore Laura? Like, I don't understand, because I was quite confused. Now, Mariam too was like, I said blah, 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 I said blah, blah. Now, Laura was quite shocked. Guys, and I could understand where her shock was coming from. And then Laura now explains that, but this same Mariam was the same person that came to my room to come and check up on me, to ask me if I was okay. And hey, Chioma felt like she had the upper hand at that point in time. I was entering Mariam. And then Toyin, during a confessional, tried to make a case for Mariam. According to Toyin, what she could recall about that particular event was that Mariam had gone to check up on Toyin because of the issue that Laura was having. So Mariam had gone to check up on Laura because of the issue that they were having, you know, the issue that Laura and Toyin were having. So me, I'm like, well, that is not enough excuse. Yeah, because you cannot be trying to be the better person amongst the crew if you were the one that brought up the idea that everybody should ignore that person. So guys, it was quite shocking. And you could tell from Tania's face that she was shocked to her bones. Because for her, oh my God, how is all of these things happening? How did all of these things even happen in the first place? And you see, the fact that Mariam was calling what Chioma and Laura were trying to build fake, guys, it was also like a huge turn off for me as well. Because once again, it birthed the question in my head about why everything has to be fake about people, you know, if it does not live up to Mariam's ridiculous little standard. Yes, because why? First of all, people's accents are fake, people's friendships are fake. Why is it that everything with Mariam about people is fake? Anyways, it got to a point where it felt like they were gonna get physical with each other, because guys, you know how Mariam speaks. Every time she's trying to have a conversation with someone and it's getting heated, you see how all her veins will be popping out and she's speaking in your face and she's putting her hand in your face like this. And she was doing the same thing with Chioma. And guys, if you all recall episode 4 at Iyabo's event where Mariam had actually literally shoved Chioma twice, you know, just to get closer to Faith, you know, in her talk and all whatnot. She was almost doing the same thing to Chioma at that point in time, and Chioma was getting really irate. Chioma was getting really offended. Chioma was like, don't do that, don't do that. And guys, it felt like they were going to fight. And I'm like, wow. So Chioma, now you know how it feels when somebody is literally accusing you of something that you feel like you're innocent of. How does it feel right now, being in Faith's shoes? How does it feel? you know. But anyways, Tania was able to diffuse the whole situation, and they had a lot of entertainment from the magician, from the belly dancer. They had a lot of entertainment, and it was quite fun, and it was quite interesting as well to see the sudden switch. You know, 1 minute everything was getting heated, the altercations, the arguments, and then the next thing, the ladies were having so much fun, and they ended up having a great time, you know, at Tania's ladies night out. And guys, I also had fun as well. But frankly speaking, guys, it kind of felt good to see Chioma on Mariam's hot seat. Now, I don't know about you, but just go ahead, let me know your thoughts, all right, about this particular episode, and I will see you all on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and especially tomorrow by 3 p.m. WAT during our Saturday YouTube live conversation. Do not miss out. I will see you all then.